Hi everyone, at last, as promised, here is my final video series about the meanings of the number cards in the tarot, and this time I'm talking about the pentacles, sometimes called the discs. So let's jump straight into it. The first card in our series is the Ace of Pentacles. A pentacle is something used in a magical ritual, like a talisman, to represent the grounding in the material of an intention, and the disc is also a symbol of money, such as a coin. So this suit is very concerned with material gain, material manifestation, and so the ace, appropriately enough, represents the beginning of a new venture or a new situation where something more is manifesting for you in the material world in the form most likely of wealth. So perhaps you're starting a new business, a new venture, or you're starting a new job. And this is the early onset of that new enterprise and the material benefits it will bring. The Two of Pentacles. This card is the juggler card. And what it represents is a person who is trying to juggle material responsibilities, whether that's work and family or work and a hobby or something like that. There's two different competing interests in the person's life. However, they're not handling it in a stable, consistent way. They're jumping from one foot to the next. The dunce cap represents the foolishness of the way that those responsibilities are being juggled, which simply means that it's being handled in a way that's very short-term oriented and perhaps not sustainable. So that's something to keep in mind. You may be juggling just fine, but something to keep in mind. This is the Three of Pentacles. So in this card, you can see that there is three figures, and they appear to be working on renovations or building work in a church. You've got the builder or stonemason with a mallet, and two priestly or monkly looking figures with the blueprint to the church. And so what this indicates is working on some kind of a project. You're in the process of building something, and you're perhaps working in a team. That's what's indicated by this card, cooperating with other people to build something up. And another thing that this card can indicate is a relationship of mentorship, perhaps an apprenticeship in a trade, or some other mentor teaching you something that you're going to use in the future. This is the Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Discs. You can see that there is a kingly figure sitting down with a city in the background, and they are surrounded by discs which they're holding very close to them. This card can represent material gain, that you're in good stead in terms of your wealth and your finances, but it's also got a bit of a possibly negative connotation if you're being too miserly and not being giving enough, or trying to be too austere and save too much, where you're not letting go of enough of the wealth that you hold. So perhaps you need to think about moving more towards a more relaxed attitude towards the wealth that you currently hold. The Five of Discs, or Five of Pentacles. This card is not very positive, unfortunately. You can see two sick figures dressed very poorly out in the cold out the front of a church. So this card represents falling on hard times, whether it's economic problems or losing a job, or perhaps even health problems, given the ailments of the figures in the card. This is tough times in a very material sense. So unfortunately, we all go through times like that from time to time, particularly in these economically unstable times. But things will get better eventually. There is hope, as indicated by the stained glass window of the church. So just hang in there. The Six of Discs, or Six of Pentacles. This is a card of charity and charitableness and philanthropy. So in contrast to the Four of Discs, which is the card of someone who has great material gain, but is being very miserly. This is somebody who is in good economic stead, good material stead, and is now willing to share some of their bounty with other people and gets great fulfillment out of doing so. So this is a very positive card, a very harmonious card, as it's a 6, and bodes well both in terms of our material situation and also in terms of our relationship with other people and how we're able to use that wealth positively. So that's what it means if you draw this card. The 7 of Pentacles. So this is a person who has tilled the field. They have sown the seeds of material success, and now they are beginning to reap some rewards or some fruits from that. However, their expression is a bit uncertain or a bit ambiguous. Perhaps they're checking in, inspecting how things are going, to see if any adjustments need to be made, if things are going as planned or not, and if not, whether there's a course correction that needs to be made or something that could be done better. Or perhaps they will find that things are going well and they're simply stopping to admire the fruits of their labours so far. So if you've been working on a project for some time, maybe this is a time to stop and consider how that's going. The 8 of Pentacles. This is the card of hard work. So we all know about the daily grind in life, what it's like to be working and working and working. And in those situations, it is difficult. It's definitely very taxing physically. This figure's definitely in the midst of some hard work indeed. But the flip side of that is that when you are working in that way, you're accumulating a lot of wealth and abundance, hopefully. And so there's great material gain that follows from that as a reward. And that is reflected in the card here. If you draw this, you've probably been working hard for a long time and you're going to notice that there are some benefits to that, most likely in your bank account. So well done. Your work has not been in vain. The 9 of Discs, or the 9 of Pentacles. If you draw this card, it's very good. You are bearing the fruits of your labor in a big way. So you can see that there's quite a lot of grapes growing on the vine in this card. There's quite a lot of discs that appear, and the woman in the card looks very noble. She looks like she's very well off. So something that has taken a long time to build up has finally come to fruition. And we know that it's taken a long time to get this point because of the snail at the bottom of the card, but now the falcon has returned home, and to mix bird metaphors, the chickens are coming home to roost. So you've been working towards a material goal for a long time, and now finally you're starting to see the full abundance and the full rewards of that. This is the 10 of Pentacles, the final number card in the suit of Pentacles, and it represents the end point of material acquisition. The old man in the card represents somebody who has experienced material abundance, has worked hard their whole life, and now is resting on their laurels somewhat, with nothing much left in life except for their wealth. And it is an end point, it is a completion of the goal, but perhaps it is a bit of a hollow goal, and it only gains meaning by transforming into a new beginning. So perhaps that means leaving a legacy for the figures in the background who represent perhaps the family of the old man. Or perhaps it simply means that making peace with the fact that your journey is over and it's time to let another story unfold. Right, that's it. We've done the number cards in the suit of Pentacles together with the other 4 suits. So that brings this series to an end. I may cover the court cards and the trumps in a subsequent series. I don't know when I'll make those. There's some other videos I want to make in the meantime before I do that. But thank you very much for listening. I hope that you have benefited from these videos. If you have, then please give me a follow on Instagram or on TikTok and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and I hope to see you on one of those platforms next time.